a way of stating how cool we are.
Yes.
Yes,
Like I think that being addicted to fantasy in the way that we do it is very cool.
Yeah.
And the way that Earth does it is low class and also unappealing.
Trashy somehow.
Trashy. It's trash.
All right. Well, what is important for us to notice about this situation?
I notice the closer I get to Earth. I think I always assumed that presences like Earth would look up to my group, think of us as very important.
Yeah.
But Earth doesn't seem to have been aware of me
At all.
at all.
Mm-hmm. What does Earth seem to think of you right now as you approach?
He's looking at me like, what the heck are you doing? Go away. What are you doing so close to me?
Get away from me.
Yeah.
And how does Earth seem to think about you other than wanting you to go away? Does he view you as
Kind of like a big, talk, arrogant,
pompous windbag?
windbag.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Earth views you as a pompous windbag?
Yeah.
I see. I'm sorry.
Wow, I think I kind of am a pompous windbag, though.
I'm sorry.
I can see his point.
Mm-hmm. What does this have to do with the 3 goals that have brought us here, which is breaking addictions to fantasy, and breaking addictions to selfishness, and breaking addictions to laziness?
I'm becoming aware that if Earth looks that small to me, and I am this big, then surely there are many smaller presences within me. And
Yeah.
if I am a pompous jerk who's addicted to fantasy, probably the smaller parts of me are also. And maybe by me being this way, oh man, and my friends being this way, maybe we're making it be this way for a really large group of presences. Not only that, but I know that when people act a specific way, the area around them becomes that way.
Mm-hmm.
And we're really big. Earth is very small to us.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably a lot of the universe that I've been making a worse place kind of with my attitude.
Well, would you like to change your attitude? Are you aware of the technique of error corrections? Correcting the energy imprint of a situation so it's as if our mistakes hadn't occurred. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
We can tune the energy of a situation to remove the harm that we've done energetically. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Would you like to tune to become less a fantasy addict, tune to become somebody who wants to know what's actually going on, let's say? Well, will it make you uncool with your friends?
That's what I'm realizing, is that will make me uncool.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't feel so cool having looked at it from the other side,
Mm-hmm.
having seen how Earth felt about me.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is kind of a conflict, because I don't really want that way of being anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't see anybody who isn't selfish and pompous, and so I don't really know who I'm going to talk to. Does that make sense?
Yes. Look up as if you have eyes in the very top of your head, so to speak. Look up. Do you see any waving hands? Hands waving at you?
Yes.
Ask if there's anybody up there who is also wanting to break addictions to fantasies, who's also interested in what's actually going on. Ask them to wave at you if there's anybody at all who wants to break their own addictions to fantasies. Does that make sense?
Yes, I don't see the hands now.
Oh, ask the hands to wave if they want to keep their addiction to fantasy.
I see hands now.
Okay.
Oh.
Once more, ask if there's any hands who want to let go of fantasy and just relate to what's actually going on.
I think I see a hand.
Yes.
Way up high.
Can you start to head in that direction?
Yes.
Here you go.
Okay.
Feels as though a cloud is lifting. Just keep going. Yes.
Yeah.
Describe what's happening.
I feel like we're moving very fast.
Upward. Is there a sensation of moving through bands of light and dark?
Yes.
Very good. You can go as fast as the speed of thought. You can think about being there and be there.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Let me know when you're arriving.
I think we're arriving.
What do you notice?
It feels very empty.
Yeah.
I thought it felt empty where I came from.
Yes.
This feels even more empty.
Yes.
And very large, open area.
Yes.
And kind of clean and bright.
Yes.
I don't see anyone around.
Ask for the hand who waved at you to make themselves known.
I get the sense that maybe I'm inside the body of the hand that waved to me.
Yes, I understand. Yes. And how does it feel?
Very good, but sad.
Yes. Go on. Is it that same feeling of feeling it should be different than this somehow?
Yes, that is the same feeling.
Yes.
This should be different somehow.
Yes.
And I should be different somehow, and the situation maybe also should be different somehow.
Yes. Yes. Now just keep looking up and ask if there's another hand. Ask up again. Is there anybody else who really wants to know what's actually going on?
I think I see a hand.
Very good. Would you like to continue up there?
Yes.
See if you can head for that second tier of hands who really wants to know what's actually going on. Yes?
Yes.
Let me know what's happening as you're going.
Moving very fast.
Yes.
And there are bands of light and dark, but the dark isn't all that dark. It's more like light and kind of gray.
Yes. Yes.
And now it feels like we're there, wherever there is. This does not feel as empty. This feels kind of crowded.
Yes, go on.
Crowded, but not like pushing on each other. And I can't see what is crowding. When I look around, it looks like just emptiness, but it feels like lots of things pressing on us.
Interesting.
Kind of like how in Ground Zero, where there are dead people that are everywhere and they just press on you as you walk through them.
Yeah.
It feels kind of like that, although not bad. I don't have a bad feeling about it. I just feel the pressure of being pushed on by lots of different bodies.
See if you can find a dial that you can turn to dial up your ability to see the presences that are here.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Just begin to dial it up until the presences start to become visible.
possible what this is that I am a smaller subatomic presence inside a very large body.
Yeah.
These are other smaller subatomic presences, and we're smooshed together like smaller subatomic presences are inside of an atom.
Yeah. And how do you feel about that?
Pretty calm, in that way of, well, maybe this has always been this way and I just wasn't looking at it like this.
Yeah.
And so I don't feel like this is a large change in circumstance, just in awareness.
Yes. What light does this cast on how you used to feel about yourself and your friends and your vastness and your importance?
Well, we're not all that vast or important at all. We're tiny presences inside of a large presence, who is also a tiny presence inside of a large presence.
And so on.
And so on and so on.
Yes. And is that comforting or disturbing?
It's kind of comforting.
Yes.
And I'm also aware of that awareness that was coming up earlier. Well, surely I have tiny presences inside of me too.
Yes.
And now I think maybe I have as many levels of tiny presences as these large presences do.
Yes.
And that's a big responsibility, I think.
Mm-hmm. What do you make of us having this conversation through a humanoid life form on planet Earth?
It's still like really boggling to me. Mostly, I think, because of my prejudice of Earth in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think, well, no good things come from Earth. Earth is a loser.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also aware that we're not talking through a presence on me, it's Earth.
Can you feel the truth of that? That we're talking through a presence on Earth. It's fascinating, isn't it?
It's fascinating. It's really making me rethink how I've categorized Earth and other presences like Earth.
What are presences like Earth? What does that mean to you?
They're dense. That I'm clear about. I'm not dense like that.
Yes.
And dirty might be the word, I think.
Yes.
Like they're unclean somehow.
Yes.
And maybe I have that wrapped in with how they're denser, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not very dense. The wind blows through me. There's a lot of airflow and breeze here.
Mm-hmm.
And Earth, things get stuck. And it's like a big zit.
Yes, I see.
It's like something that we would say to each other, we the big, less dense ones, and chuckle about.
Yes, and feel superior.
Yeah.
And seeing how you are now in a crowded place of, is it people like you?
I think so.
Yes. How do you feel about that now? Does the wind still blow through you even at this level?
Yeah. Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, it actually does.
Good. What is important for us to notice about this experience?
My attention keeps being pointed out to the door that came here.
Mm-hmm.
How it opened at the top like a library return slot on the outside of the building.
Yes.
And I can tell that that's significant. But I don't know how. I can also tell that when I, the big, less dense presence, look at it, it doesn't really look like I've moved at all in this experience, although there was the going up and the rushing of wind and the bands of light and dark. I'm starting to wonder if I was always in this exact same place and just didn't see it.
Yes. and that it was perhaps just your consciousess that was
Exactly,
changing, or
just
your
my
focus,
consciousness or
that
my
was,
focus.
or awareness.
Awareness.
Interesting.
And then I also know that that's somehow linked to the fact that I'm talking through a very small presence on planet Earth, which is a very small, dense planet. And I know somehow all of that is connected somehow. And I feel kind of sad.
Does the word Vanavanov have any meaning for you?
No?
Does the word wizard have any meaning for you?
In a kind of vague way, like something I've overheard in a conversation in a train station, or in a conversation in a restaurant. Like something I've overheard in a waiting room. But not in a very significant way. I'm sorry, I don't know.
It's all right. What matters to you most? What is the most important thing?